Hey, bless up, y'all. It's King Kevin in the building. How y'all doing? How y'all doing? So the question of today is whether or not Afro-Haitians gave African Americans culture and freedom. In other words, African Americans would not have freedom if it wasn't for what the Africans in Haiti did for the U.S. and the African diaspora. So I got my good brother, Julian the General. He's about to tune in soon. Waiting on him to join the show. So you guys, I'm open for questions. I'm open for whatever you guys think, whatever you want to say. Man, this is going to be a live conversation. Believe me, you're going to want to tune in on this one. So any comments? I'm a good brother here in Atlanta. And yeah, it's popping. So please like, share, comment, let people know that we in the building, baby. King Kevin is in the building. Y'all know I'm on a Black Legacy tour. Active GoFundMe. I'm going to post the link. Well, the link is actually in my bio. So you guys follow me on Instagram. We go straight to GoFundMe. Just search Black Legacy tour. Stopping the inhumane treatment and the injustices towards Haiti. We're working towards that right now. But the reason why this topic even came about, me and Brother Julian, we had a whole another conversation we were getting ready to do. And he had shared with me a video about, what this, group of beautiful Black people, they had some sort of podcast, and one of the ladies on the show is Haitian, and she made that comment. Now, and the African American brother was saying something ridiculous, and I was like, man, I definitely, I'm gonna put ain't tripping. I just ignore everybody. All right, view request. My brother is on now. Go live. He's in the building. Y'all keep, man, give this video a thumbs up, share, whatever y'all gotta do, man. Y'all know how y'all get down on this thing. Brother, what's going on, Benjamin?
My brother, we live,
man.
Yes, sir. Hey, it's a lot of conversation going on, and we just gonna help clear the air a little bit.
Hey, I'm glad you shared that video with me, man, because your exact words were for some encouragement for tonight's discussion, and that actually the topic literally took over what me and you was talking about, because I know a lot of people is gonna piss a lot of people off, and other people are gonna laugh at it. Other people are gonna take it very serious, but we know what time it is, so we just gonna enlighten the people. And the topic of discussion: did Afro-Haitians give African Americans culture and freedom? So you were well educated, brother. Go ahead and I'd like for you to share a little bit about yourself. And I kind of did the same. I kind of did that already on my end, but go ahead and
Okay.
people who follow me, know more about you and vice versa, so we could build.
Indeed, King Kevin. Yes, everyone. I'm Julian in general, and I teach 8th grade Georgia history at McNair Middle School. I'm also a trumpet player and just a student of Black history across the global African diaspora. And like education is something simple, but it's just what we need today. We see a lot of opinion. We see some people have a little piece of truth, and then because they have a microphone, they can talk. So their heart might be in the right place, but their mind need a little adjusting. So that's why, we here as scholars, we in all love, we just here to continue to uplift the we no matter where we are, whether
Amen. Appreciate that. And I know you're a big time trumpet player. And man, you know what? I just seen I don't know what you'll call it, but it's like one of those dolls. It's about probably 12 feet, not 12 feet, about 12, 13 inches tall, of Louis Armstrong. playing the trumpet. It's like it's kind of not, it's
Yeah.
not a bobblehead, but the head kind of bobble, but it actually plays and talk. Man, I was gonna buy it, man,
Mm.
because I love Louis Armstrong. I love that era. Ella Fitzgerald. You know, I just came from Chicago Memorial Weekend for the Black Legacy Tour. I kind of mentioned it early on in the show, and I was in the room. It was called the what's that, Emperor Room or Empire Room or something like that at the Parma Hotel
Mm-hmm.
in you know, Chicago, just that whole era, man. You know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
so I was gonna buy it. I was like, nah, I can't do it. You know, 75 blowing up right now, man. I should have put on Do Not Disturb. It's crazy. Now that I'm building with you and the phone blowing up, man. But we're gonna talk about is whether or not, you know, Haiti gave African Americans culture and
Mm.
freedom. So there is a little truth to it. The other, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? But I would like to hear your take on it. My take, I don't know if you want to go first or second, but I definitely want to hear your take on it. You being the professor and everything, or you want me to go ahead and jump on the subject because I'm ready.
Oh, well, yeah, I'll just, give a, brief response. Like you mentioned,
Yes, sir.
there's some truth to it, as far as, the Haitian Revolution,
Mm.
inspiring Denmark VC and Nat Turner, and actually a successful rebellion against slavery. So that was the light that a lot of Africans in America say, "Oh, they did it. They did it. We can do it too." So, and as you mentioned, New Orleans with Louis Armstrong, as you know, the New Orleans was colonized by the French.
Mm-hmm.
So, the music was also a part of that cultural influence. So from what I understand, even the idea of a second line is also has origins in Haiti, as far as the parading of the loved one to the resting place where the musicians would get in the streets and the people would celebrate. So that has, some truth to it.
Okay. Now, and I definitely agree with you on that. You know, especially with the Nat Turner Rebellion. You know, Nat Turner, as y'all know, was a pastor, and he, you know, was in enslaved African. I never called my ancestors slaves. I always say enslaved Africans because we were free before we were enslaved. You know, and you know, Nat Turner, his rebellion. I wouldn't say it was solely because of Haitian Revolution, but he heard about the Haitian Revolution and he was inspired to go ahead and push that button and let's make it happen. As a matter of fact, what he did, I think he killed about him and his squad killed about either it was 70 of them or they killed 70 white people. I don't remember that
Mhm.
number exactly, but I know he set it off. But if y'all think that was
Mhm.
something, Jean-Jacques Dessalines, when he did the massacre of the French in Haiti, they killed about 2,000 white folks,
Mm.
you know, and they called it coupe tete boule kai, which means cut their heads and burn the houses, you know. So
Mm.
he took it to that level, you know what I'm saying? That's why they don't teach about Nat Turner
Yeah.
in the history books. Nat Turner coming out of the state, if I'm not mistaken, he came out of I want to say what's don't tell me, was it Virginia, right? Out of Virginia?
Exactly.
Okay.
Hmm.
Okay. I remember that.
That's
So
right.
they don't teach about Nat Turner in history books. So if they ain't teach about him, you know they damn sure ain't gonna teach about Jean-Jacques Dessalines, who was the lieutenant
No.
general underneath General Toussaint Louverture, who was the greatest leader of all time, white or black or yellow, you know, and not because I said that, not because Julian the general said that, but Marcus Garvey, the godfather of
Mhm.
the Pan-African movement, said it himself in his book, Life and Lessons of Marcus Garvey. And he didn't, you know, wasn't just, and that wasn't just a sentence just within the book. It was literally like the first 5 pages of that book. So when I read that, I was inspired, and it's funny because when I read that, I already had that sense that what the Haitians, what the African Haitians were able to accomplish in Haiti was like, you know, so massive. It was a monumental event, you know, and I wasn't taught that in school, but I was able to put two and two together, you know, and I was like, wow, hold up, you telling me some Africans in this one little island was able to defeat Napoleon's army of the French, the Britain and Spain, and all my life I've been taught about Napoleon. You know, as a matter of fact, Napoleon, one of those individuals in the history books before I was conscious, was someone that I kind of like. Man, I like his swag, man. This dude here, man, he was, you know, this and that, and you know, he was brave, and you know, he had guts, and you know what I'm saying, and et cetera, et cetera. Little did I know that this man was an exploiter. He wasn't a leader. You know, they all they did was pillage countries. You know what I'm saying? And Toussaint defeated all of them. Mind you, the French at that time, the French was the powerhouse of that era. You know what I'm saying? Just like America is today, the powerhouse. America was not like that back in the 1800s. You know, the early 19th century or the late 18th century. America was irrelevant. The colonies of America was small, you know what I'm saying, in comparison to France. So, yeah, but go ahead, brother. I just wanted to drop that dime, you know, just about how massive, most people don't understand to this day how massive of a revolution that was. You know what I mean?
That's true. There's so much truth. And as we look at Afro-Haitians giving Afro-Americans culture and freedom, you know, just the idea, Thomas Jefferson, the white leaders in America was shook when they heard about, oh, the enslaved conquered the enslavers. They beat the French because you know, the American colonists, they were also at war with the French. You know, and so and there also, we know that the Louisiana Purchase was inspired because after Napoleon took that loss, then that also led to Thomas Jefferson making that purchase, which, you know, doubled the size of America.
Facts.
So, you know, that video that I don't know if it's possible to have a link up, but the video that we were speaking on to the viewers is they were some beautiful Black people that were having a conversation about Black culture and how the Haitian Revolution, if it was not for that, then Black people in America would not have freedom. And so we are here to continue to speak on that and to put a little bit more truth to it.
Okay.
But because we know that we can look at dates. We can say America just started celebrating Juneteenth, right? We know
Officially.
Juneteenth was
right.
1863, right? But hey, wait a minute, Haiti abolished and became their own independent nation in 1804. So wait a minute, America was still behind.
Yeah,
America was.
Yeah. Hey, that's a fact right there. What you just said, brother. And you're right. You know, Thomas Jefferson sold. You know, bought, and Napoleon sold the Louisiana Purchase to Thomas Jefferson, the second president of the United States, who was a big racist, by the way. I'm sorry, he's the third president of the United States, a huge, humongous racist. As for those who don't know how massive of a deal that was, because the Afro-Haitians beat the French, France was going broke. As a matter of fact, I want to get to another subject regarding, but I'm not going to veer off that far to the left. But just to let you guys know how important Haiti was, Napoleon sold, check it now, if it wasn't for the Haitians, African Haitians, you know what I'm saying, We wouldn't have Kansas. You wouldn't have Arkansas. You wouldn't have Oklahoma. You
Mhm.
wouldn't have Nebraska. You would, what am I missing? Montana or North Dakota or Iowa and half of Colorado and the northeast of New Mexico.
Mhm.
That's about 13, 14 states I just mentioned. One,
Yeah,
two, three, four. Minnesota as well. One, two, one, two,
the
three.
whole
Oklahoma. Yeah.
all up to Mississippi.
I'm saying, you know, you said the west of Mississippi.
Yeah, yeah, all up to Mississippi.
Yeah, think about
Yeah.
it. That you know what I'm saying. That doubled the size of America. You know what I'm saying to actually
Mhm.
be a superpower that it is today. And a lot of people
Mhm.
don't know is that Abraham Lincoln, the United States never acknowledged Haiti as an independent country.
Mhm.
They just like you said earlier, for the enslavers to be defeated by the ones who was enslaved, it was a nightmare for white folks. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like the planters, this was a living nightmare. They cannot believe it. As a matter of fact, they
Mhm.
put an embargo on that information so that our enslaved ancestors in America
Mhm.
weren't supposed to know, but they found out anyway because people gonna talk, and this was too big.
Mhm.
This was like
Yeah.
equivalent of, like, say for instance, World War I or World War II.
Mhm.
Imagine the news about that not being told. You know what I'm saying? That's how they try. That's how massive of a fight this was.
That's
As a
right.
matter of fact, it's my opinion, and I'm going to talk about this in my next book called the Americas and France's 200-year war against Haiti. Actually, I might call it a 1,000-year
Mhm.
war against Haiti. But I'm going to talk about that in the book. I'm working on it right now. The pre-orders will be ready next month. I just don't know, should I go with America's 200-year war with Haiti, or should I go with America and France's 1,000-year war against Haiti? So I'm
Ooh.
trying to think which one I'm going to go with. But let me address this question about Pyramid Books. I think this is Brother Akbar who showed me love. You know what I'm saying? They got a bookstore in Boynton Beach that's in Palm Beach County, Florida. Asked this question. Pyramid Books, thanks for the question. Is it possible to Jamaican also play a part of Haitian culture or inspiring Haiti? Well, being the Caribbean, we all inspire each other. You know what I'm saying? Well, being black nation,
Mhm.
period. You know what I'm saying? Being the islands. And let me say this regarding the relationship between Haitians and Jamaicans. It's just like the backward relationships Haitians, Afro-Haitians have with African Americans. You know what I'm saying? We allow the slave masters to divide us. You feel what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
there's a lot of ignorance that was from the slave owners that was induced into the enslaved in Jamaica. So that
Mhm.
negative feeling, that vibe, or just that foul energy between African Americans and Afro Haitians. Same thing with my Jamaican brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? I love my Jamaican brothers and
Mhm.
sisters. I love my
That's
Bahamians,
right.
my people out of Trinidad, wherever you is in the island,
Mhm.
where black,
Mhm.
period. I don't care where you at. I got love for you.
Mhm.
Now let me say this, which I found very interesting in a book that I read by C.L.R. James called The Black Jacobins. If you
Mhm.
guys never read that book, I don't care if you don't care about Haiti or history, but if you do, you gotta get this book. It's called The Black Jacobins by C.L.R. James, and it's
Mhm.
the book. He mentions in this book, he references that the governor of Jamaica back around 1801, 1800s, early 1800s, they begged. The governor was a white governor. He begged the United States, Thomas Jefferson, to make sure that Tucson do not invade Jamaica, do not have the Haitians bring the
Mhm.
war to Jamaica. So part of Tucson's deal with America, because believe it or not, you get this, brothers and sisters, believe it or not, Haitians, thanks to General Toussaint Louverture while he was alive, was able to make deals, business trade deals with U.S. Government. They were
Mhm.
trading guns,
Mhm.
sugarcane, like they were doing business. It was estimated about 500 ships a year was going back and
Mhm.
forth between U.S. and Haiti.
Mhm.
At least 2 ships per
Mhm.
day. Like
Mhm.
I ain't never heard of that. I'm like, for real? How is it that
That's
these
right.
oppressors gonna do business with, and you know what I'm saying, people that they despise, because it's all about the money with them. You know what I'm saying? We as a black people, we're more spiritual. You
Mhm.
know what I mean?
Mhm.
Our strength foundation is in our spiritual relationship and the social relationship we have with each other. Our power is in our mind and spirit. Their power is behind money. So greed, they didn't care.
Mm-hmm.
They just wanted they sugar was like
Mm-hmm.
cocaine back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? Haiti
Yeah.
provided 3/4 of the world's sugar. 75% of the
Wow.
world's sugar came from one island of Haiti. That's why it was so brutal in Haiti, because in order to manufacture sugar, it's a long process.
Mm.
It's a continual process. You
Mm.
can't stop, or the sugar gonna get fermented
Yeah.
and moldy and rotten. So it's an ongoing process around the clock.
Yeah.
So it was extremely brutal in Haiti
Yeah.
under the French. I mean, and these French, man, oh man, these were devils. You hear Malcolm X always talk about white people as being devils. If you read that book, Black Jacobins, or even the book by
Yeah.
Dr. What's his last first name? His name is Farmer, Paul Farmer, Dr. Paul Farmer. If you
Mm.
read his book called The Uses of Haiti, or even the Black Jacobins, and
Mm.
several books, and the
Yeah.
atrocities that the Haitians went through is unbelievable.
Yeah. That that I see another a comment there where you were speaking on the relationship between Haiti and Jamaica. Someone pointed out that Boukman is believed to be of Jamaican ancestry.
That's a fact.
You
That's
know,
a fact.
so just that idea of, like you were mentioning, how we allow, because we learn history from a Eurocentric standard, we allow that this concept, you Haitian, you got to stay over there. You Jamaican, you got to stay over there.
Mm-hmm.
No, we are working together for our freedom and liberation.
Amen.
And like you mentioned with this concept of what a if your enemy is my enemy, you become a friend. So,
Mm.
the Americans were also at war with the French. And so because Haiti was kicking tail, you know what I'm saying? They was like, okay, look, we'll help you fight the French. We're not really trying to help you defeat slavery.
Right.
But we'll get you some guns, and this is why we having this conversation, family, so we can continue to build the bridges and break down the barriers, so that African Americans, we can link with Afro-Haitians and Afro-Jamaicans, but we do. I'm all about giving respect, because um, Haiti struck the blow. They are the vanguard of the revolution. At the you know what I'm
No doubt
saying? It
about it.
can only be one champion.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't no it's no slight to anybody, any other people. And I think that as we do that, we can create a narrative that we can control, because like we would mention, Haiti not only liberated themselves, they helped support it in South America. As you mentioned, were making uh, trade with America, and as you also have been sharing about with the Battle of Savannah, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and how Afro-Haitians contributed to the American Revolution.
Mm.
And so I think
Facts.
that you with your book, that is a key point, especially as we approach the idea of reparations and economic justice. That hey, at this time, we have we blessed that we don't have to chop no cane, we don't have to pick no cotton, but we do have to go get that money that our ancestors worked for.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Hey,
know,
respect, brother. Respect. That's fact. No, that's fact. We gotta go back what they died for and bled for, man. I mean the atrocity that our ancestors went through, man, here in the States, or in the Caribbean islands, or even from the transport, you know what I'm saying, from the motherland to wherever they dropped us off at, man. I mean, the horror stories, man. It'll make you cry, man. And if you don't feel sad, or you don't cry about it, then something wrong with your consciousness. You know what I'm saying? You just a black skin with a white spirit. But we're gonna get you back, because our ancestors, man, they died, they fought. I mean, literally fingers to the bone, man. You know what I'm saying? the enslaved Afro-Haitians in Haiti, man, they had to work damn near 23 hours a day sometimes, bro. I mean, they give them no sleep. Women literally had their babies on the field sometimes, bro. They would not let them go, go in their shack to rest or have the baby, man. These folks didn't give a damn about us, bro. So I'd be damned if I sit back under my watch and let our people suffer to be suffering today in the 21st century. That's why, that's why I made the choice to start the Black Legacy Tour, so that we can at least alleviate some of that pressure and pain, because Haiti can't help itself right now. The United States and France been blood sucking Haiti for so many years, decades, over a century, and for people to be starving and suffering today because of the policies the U.S. and France has put towards Haiti. I mean, I'm not gonna sit back no more, man. Like, I don't care if nobody donates to my GoFundMe, bro. If I gotta work my fingers to the bone to fund this tour, to set up these meetings with these congressmen and women, which I have one set up this Friday, I'm gonna do it. It's not gonna happen on my watch, man. Not on my ancestors, not on your ancestors, man. We're gonna make this thing happen. If I could get one policy change, and one of the policies I'll love to see change, like when Haiti got their freedom, even before that, when we fought our freedom, you know what I'm saying? Haiti has always been, and just like any other Caribbean island, a farming industry. You know what I'm saying? That's how they eat, period. You know what I'm saying? That's the number one source of revenue for the economy, is farming, whether it be rice, mango, sugar cane. Haiti got one of the most fertile lands in the world, where they grow mangoes damn near all year round. Only country that does that, other than I think Indonesia or India somewhere, who kind of grow mangoes, pretty frequent, but not like the Haitian mangoes. You know what I mean? And for Haiti not be able to grow its own rice, you know what I'm saying? To feed your family, you can't even grow your own rice, because the U.S. takes the Clinton Foundation and the U.S. government to put in policies where they'll dump tons of free, cheap, bleach rice. Now, outside looking in, people be like, oh yeah, the America is in Haiti, they're doing a great job, they care about the people, they feeding them. What you guys don't understand, because many of us don't read, what you don't understand, beyond what the media, the Jewish-owned media, is pushing to you, is the fact that when they dump this food, no matter where they're dumping it at in these countries, is knocking off the farmers. If the farmers, if 80% of the population are farmers and they can't farm, what do you think is gonna happen? These people gonna be put out of business, and now there's an influx of people moving to the cities trying to find a way to eat. And Clinton act like he didn't know that was gonna happen. Advisors told Clinton, do not dump this rice into Haiti like that. You're gonna knock off these farmers, and this is how 70-80% of the population eat. He didn't care, because that's his buddies who are on these boards who are passing this food along. Rice and peanuts. If I could get any policy change, it'd be that one. That'd be my one mission, is to get that one policy change.
That's good.
You know what I mean?
That's good.
And a lot of people don't know about the fact that the U.S. enslaved Haiti, re-enslaved Haiti. Matter of fact, Haiti was enslaved twice. Once in, I want to say 1796 or 97, because the French had freed its enslaved islands, Haiti, Martinique. What's the other country that they enslaved? They enslaved a few in the Caribbean, but the French freed them. And guess what? When Napoleon came into power back in 17, I think I want to say 17. Yeah, it was 1793 when Napoleon came into power. He reinstated slavery. He brought it back into the island. Now Haitians fought and took it over. You know what I mean? A lot of people don't know about that. Haitians fought and got the independence officially in 1804. Now, in the Haitian-American Treaty of 1915, USA Marines under FDR and Woodrow Wilson, they occupied Haiti for 19 years, from 1915 to 1934. Now, they reinstated slavery. They didn't use the word slavery. What they did was they came in there, violently occupied Haiti, enslaving the people, literally in chains and whips, beat them, killed them, and even assassinated one of the leaders of that revolution, Charlemagne Perrault. A lot of people don't know who that is, but if you watch my Instagram, there's a picture of a man tied to a door on a donkey, and what he did was they shot him in the head. The Marines tied him to a door and drug him throughout the towns to put fear in the Haitians, Afro-Haitians, to keep working on these plantations that the U.S. brought. Not only did they do that, that's how cruel they was. And guess what? These Marines got Medal of Honor for that. These Marines got Medal of Honors for that. Yeah, so one of the soldiers was Sergeant Button. The other one was Smedley. You know, Smedley actually wrote a book, Major Smedley. He actually wrote a book called, I didn't read it yet, I just ordered it, but I've been reading articles about it. So, you know what, let me get this book. This guy won 2 medals of honors. One is campaign in Mexico, and the other for the occupation in Haiti and for the year 1919. He wrote a book called War is a Racket. War is a Racket. He wrote this book back in 1935, right? Now, what he puts in this book now, he's telling all the U.S. money seekers of what they were doing in countries to take over, especially in Haiti, because he was there. You know what I'm saying? So during that occupation of 1915, 1934, they enslaved the people, our people, and then they changed the Constitution as Jean-Jacques Dessalines amended after Toussaint wrote 1801 Constitution. Dessalines added something to it saying that no white man, no European can ever own land in Haiti. When the U.S. came and occupied Haiti, now power is in land and resources. Power is not in the vote. Power is not in what kind of clothes or Gucci or Benz you driving. Power is in land and resources, right?
That's right.
If you study Dr. Amos Wilson, you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm saying? Dr. Amos Wilson, the child psychologist, the Pan-Africanist, and the author of several amazing books. One of them is called The Blueprint for Black Power. Now,
that's right.
When the U.S. occupied Haiti, you know what they did, bro? They really killed the game. They stole 260,000 acres of land. 200. They changed the Constitution so they can't own the land. Stole 260,000 acres of land, and then stole, I can't remember the exact figure in my head right now, and I've been saying it for a while. I want to say they stole about $20 million in gold francs from the U.S. bank, from the Haitian National Bank. This money was supposed to be used to build roads and schools and infrastructure. You know what I'm saying? Ambulances. Kids in Haiti pay for school, bro. Imagine kids in Bankhead or Decatur, you know what I'm saying, or wherever in Atlanta, having to pay for school. Most of us ain't gonna be able to afford it. How you know what I'm saying? So due to the collaboration of the U.S. and France, Haiti has been crippled. And what you're seeing on TV is not all of Haiti. Believe me, I've been to Haiti. Haiti is not like that all the way around. There's many parts of Haiti that are impoverished, but not all of Haiti is impoverished. There's some ballers in Haiti. Matter of fact, some of them are truly crooked. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole nother subject. But those are the things that the U.S. did in Haiti that crippled the country, on top of the double debt the Haitians had to pay France for their freedom. Because in 1825, France forced Haiti to pay 150 million gold francs for reparations for their freedom. That's backwards, man.
And as you mentioned this, you know, this idea about in the reparations movement in for African Americans, should Africans should African Americans help other Africans in the diaspora get reparations? And my opinion is yes, especially for Haiti, as you mentioned it, because we can work together. And if African Americans can say, hey, American government, we know it's recorded what you have done in Haiti.
Well recorded.
Right? Not only that, then boom, the New York Times, your own newspaper. Right? And then we can say, hey, American government, we know you friends with the French government. Go ahead, pay up. You know, but you know that is definitely a conversation, and as well, Afro-Haitians can say, hey, we are a great voting bloc. We help you get in the president. We support you. Um, we go ahead and issue those reparations. Now, what those reparations look like, that's another conversation.
Definitely.
That's that's definitely a real conversation on definitely, because my perspective, hey, welfare is, I mean, excuse me, reparations is not a welfare check or a stimulus check, you know, and that is definitely a real conversation on how do we, at this, especially like you mentioned, for a nation to
Right.
be utterly robbed of all their resources and
Utterly.
then be expected to be a stable nation. No, meanwhile, we throwing food away, we living in luxury. And so I think that especially as we look at being global,
Mm.
seeing seeing ourselves not just as American or just one people, like wow, the whole, when we look at the Americas, like we really built it. And unfortunately we are not enjoying the prosperity. And so, I think that's part of our charge, from different nations, because hey, out, imagine young black kids in America being able to travel to Haiti and hike in the mountains and go to the beaches and be able to eat the food and see the culture. That's a whole nother opportunity that boom, we can stimulate economy. And oh man, boy, Haiti, boy, oh, beautiful, beautiful women and good food,
Oh yes, yes.
and oh my goodness, oh, and the music. And it's unfortunate that like you mentioned with the media, how the media would want to portray Haiti, as just being poor. Oh, they just, the voodoo is crippling the nation. But wait a minute, have y'all heard Haiti's music?
Mm.
Have y'all seen them dance?
Mm.
Have y'all have
Hey,
have y'all had some?
it's a beautiful thing, man. I'm a well traveled brother. I've been blessed to be able to travel around the world. And
Mm-hmm.
the first country I've been to outside the country was Jamaica. Now
Mm.
I was supposed to go to Haiti, but that in 2010, but there was an earthquake, so we couldn't go that year. So as a group
Mm.
of us, we decided to go either Jamaica or Bahamas. So everyone like, let's go to Jamaica then. Can't go to Haiti.
Mm-hmm.
And good vibe in Jamaica. Had a ball. You know what I'm saying? Good vibe
Mm.
Bahamas. Had a ball. Went out to Haiti. I mean, it's like I can't explain the freedom I felt when I got there, brother. You know what I'm saying? I was like, man, I'm finally here. And beautiful people, beautiful, like you said, beautiful food, beautiful women, the beaches, you know. And
Mm.
I was like, man, this ain't nothing like what I was seeing on TV. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
Nothing like I was reading in the
Mm.
newspapers. Now, don't get me wrong.
Mm.
There are parts of Haiti
Yeah.
that has been degraded. You know what I'm saying? And people are
Yeah.
living in poverty. There are parts of Haiti like that, but that's not majority of the
Mm-hmm.
country. But now,
Mm.
the craziness that we're seeing now is it's survival right now in many parts of Haiti. You know what I'm saying? That the
Mm.
government is almost non-existent. You know what I mean? Because lack of finances to help pay to have police and security, finances to make sure that
Mm.
everybody's eating. So when you do have politicians, a lot of
Mm.
these politicians they worry about filling up their pockets because
Mm.
who's gonna hold? Where's the justice system to hold them accountable? You know what I'm saying? So they're gonna do, you know what I mean? But that's all thanks to the direct, heavy iron hand
Mm.
of U.S. and France. This is the combination of
Mm.
what's been generating over decades, over a century. This is what you're going to get.
Mm.
Now, the question is, what are we going to do about it? You know what I'm saying? What are we going to do about it? And you made a comment earlier that Afro-Haitians, African-Americans can work together. No, we cannot work together. We must
Mm.
work together. There is no
Mm.
option. Haiti,
Mm.
Haiti's success in getting reparations and getting the country back on track, its original
Mm.
track, is going to be heavily impacted by African Americans and the African diaspora, directly involved with getting to the legislatures, the congressmen and women, people writing these policies. It's going to take an international effort. Now, if Haiti doesn't get reparations, best believe me, the United States African Americans will not get reparations. The only reason why I say that is because it is so clear cut evidence. The same thing, there's a lot of evidence of the slavery in the United States. I'm not stupid. You know what I'm saying? You're stupid. We are. It's been written, documented, et cetera, et cetera. But the slavery and the slave trade is so well documented. Oh, what happened in Haiti since what 1615 to the present day. New York Times even wrote 3 articles. This is one of the articles dated on May 23rd. I was in Chicago May 27th when I found out about these articles. So they wrote one on the 23rd, 24th, and 25th. And my press release came out on the May 26th, and then on the 27th, that when I was in Chicago. So it was just divine order. This is one of 3 articles. This now not just three articles. Homepage, front page articles. This is called "A Bank Created for Haiti Funneled Wealth to France." This is what this article called. Haiti built the Eiffel Tower. Haitian money built Eiffel Tower, the most iconic statue or structure in the world, the most traveled, the most visited around the world. The Eiffel Tower in Paris, France, were built with Haitian money, and the bank that created it was in France, called Commercial D France, and these people made billions of dollars. Listen, let me set a good financial picture for you guys, and thanks to Dr. Amos Wilson, hard-working books, he made me understand we just can't study history. We have to study the political history and economic history. Now, the economic history, just like in the Bible, you look at the brother Moses, when Moses went, was in Egypt and was able to hide, and they was building these buildings, the infrastructures, and people followed him, et cetera, et cetera. That was great economics. As a matter of fact, let me use another example than Moses. Brother Joseph.
Okay.
Everyone had to bring the resources, their grains to Egypt. You know what I'm saying? Which is Kemet. Kemet, the original name of Egypt, land of the blacks. Everyone had to bring their resources and their grains so that it can save. That takes a tremendous amount of economic organization and just social relationships for everyone to depend on one country to survive. That doesn't just happen happenstance. It's like we building pyramids. It's not God's building pyramids. It's not aliens building pyramids. It's men and women putting that work in, getting these things built. So it had to take organization, took money, took food, it took structure. To do that. The reason why I'm saying this is because that has a lot to do with economic history. Now, you follow the money when it comes to Haiti and France and the U.S. In the early 1800s, actually, this was in this article, if I'm not mistaken, this was around 1833 to 1840, 45, something like that. Every $6 that Haiti made during this time, every $6, you would not believe how much money was stayed in Haiti out of $6. Give me a guess.
$3.
6 cents.
Dang.
Now, how do you expect a country to progress? How do you expect countries to progress with those kind of stats? So you're talking about criminal. 1 penny out of each dollar stays in Haiti. That's ridiculous. You're gonna starve. You're gonna die. So now, of course, they wanted us to pay for a fight for daring to beat them. That was Mission Impossible. You're talking about Mission Impossible. Everybody watched the movie. That was a real life Mission Impossible to beat the world's superpowers at the height of their powers. So Haiti's been paying for that ever since. But people have the problem with this staying focused on the Haitian Revolution and how great it was, which it was great. Believe me, there's no greater achievement of Black people modern history than the Haitian Revolution. Make no mistake about that. But to be drawn strictly to that history, be stuck strictly to that history, that's that can't be going on no more. We can't be focused on that history.
Okay.
Use the history as motivation. Yeah. Right now, we gotta get Haiti, you know what I'm saying, back on track. The only way we're gonna do that, like I said, change the policies that's tripping the country, and the U.S. allow Haiti to govern themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Let us deal with the snakes and fakes in Haiti, and let the real stand up, just like the days of Toussaint, just like Charlemagne Perrault. You know what I'm saying? Just like the many other men and women in Haiti that stood up against injustice. We can do that. But and speaking about the money, brother, Haiti is worth way too much money. So the U.S. would never allow Haiti to be on its own by itself. The U.S. is not going to do that just by happenstance. We're going to have to cut their hands off in order to do that. You know why? Because Haiti, coincidentally, in 2010, the year I was supposed to go to Haiti, but I went to Jamaica instead because of the earthquake, major earthquakes, 7 point some on the Richter scale, killed over 250,000 Afro-Haitians and Americans who were in Haiti at the time, and wherever they were from around the world, killed 250,000 people. Now, coincidentally, the U.S. found over $40 billion worth of oil and gold 30 days after the earthquake. Coincidentally now. Now, I want to try and take it there, but I'm going to say this. That was not a natural earthquake. That was a man-made earthquake. Brother Chavez from Venezuela, president of Venezuela, who the airport of Cap Haitien, or the Cap, people call it, where my people from, they named the airport after President Chavez, former President Chavez, because he passed away under suspicious conditions of cancer. After he made this statement on the public news that the U.S. uses a software called HAARP, HAARP, High Aurora Frequency Research Program. What they use this software for is to change the weather. They can make it. The U.S. Marines use this software to make it rain wherever they want to make it rain, when they want to make it rain, but also when they're searching for gold and ore, because what it does is it shakes the earth. Now think about it. Now seriously, think about it. This book's written about this. Now I'm not a geologist, but I do know Haiti is filled with now it's public. You know what I'm saying? Especially because of Clinton Foundation. You know what I'm saying? Because guess who got the mining rights to search for the golden ore? Tony Rodham, who's Hillary Clinton's brother. Exclusive rights to dig for 50 years. You know what I'm saying? In Haiti, man. I could go on and on, brother. Go ahead, man. You don't caught me on fire right now, man. But go ahead, man.
That's what we need. You know what I'm saying? We too lukewarm. We way too comfortable. You know, and
Too comfortable.
And I guess it's because we've been fighting so long, and it's like, damn, we can't catch a break. It's like we still getting killed. These people. But hey, at the end of the day, we here. And we're at the beginning of the day, and we have so much. We got everything we need. We got black billionaires. We have everybody in right. And so when we look at us being able to travel where we want to, our children being able to travel to various places, us being able to work and trade with other countries, that reparations piece is a platform for us to be able to not just allow a few people to be successful, but it's an opportunity so that entire countries can really be able to grow in their full potential. And as we look at the idea of how did Haiti influence America, in particular, how did Haiti influence Black freedom and culture? Right. There's so much in addition to as you mentioned, in addition to the Haitian Revolution, right? We have the music, right? We have also the founding of, as you mentioned, with Chicago, right? We have the Haitian descent person, brother. What's our brother name?
DeSable.
DeSable, yes. And so we all connected. And as our brother mentioned, one concept as we strive for reparations is for Afro-Americans to be able to advocate for Afro-Haitians so that we can be able to grow together, because we all fighting against slavery, against disenfranchisement, and so that we can be able to have trade. I look forward to going to Haiti, to go up to the mountains, to the Citadel. I look forward to go to the beaches. I grew up in Decatur. I ain't no beach in Decatur.
I feel you.
You know what I'm saying? And for us to really gain a real model like Brother Malcolm, you know, he didn't just stay in America. He went around to African nations and other heads of state to be able to say, how can we work together? Because he knew that his plan was saying, hey, we're gonna take America to the world court.
Mm.
Right? Hey, we see that if I know you abuse, if I'm in your house and you abuse me in your house, then I don't need to talk to you.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
how but that requires us having international unity
Mm.
so that we can go to another level, as you were mentioning. And one step forward is that unity between Afro-Americans and Afro-Haitians, because of the history that Haiti has in influencing America. And we can help fight together. And this is what the Europeans did when they came up with whiteness,
Mm.
right? Because they at first they were all Englishmen, Frenchmen, German, Italian, right? They were proud of their home country. And then you know what? We'll be stronger if we just called ourselves white.
Right. Yeah. They clicked up. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Hey. And so, but now all of a sudden, today, when we have when we look at, we say, oh, you Black American, you don't know nothing about Haiti. Oh, you Haitian, you don't know nothing about Jamaica.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, you Jamaican, you don't know nothing about the Bahamas.
Mm-hmm.
And so, but we all African.
Yeah, we all African,
And
man.
fun. And just imagine, to everybody that's watching, right? We're uplifting this conversation because now is our time to claim leadership. Right? Yeah, it's cool to party. Yeah, we want to celebrate. Yeah, we want to remember the history, but we also want to build a better future. Right? Because somebody getting the land, somebody getting the money,
Hmm.
right? And we want to be able to control the narrative. And right now, as scholars and activists, right, we're not here just to get a do an interview to get 1 million views or to get some likes. We're working, we're organizing. My brother, he has a tour where he has written books. And so one of our things, my brother, that I see in our what's going on is we got a lot of talking. It's a lot of people would have just sharing their opinions, but they haven't written any books. They don't have any organizations. Ain't joined no organizations. Are not, advocating for any organizations in terms of how we get solutions. Because hey, I want my money.
Hmm.
And I want Haiti to get their money, because hey, when they pull up to Haiti, we give love, get love. Hey, it's all good. I want, and we know Jamaica is also what the one of those some of the royalty from Britain came to Jamaica. They was like, hey, we need our money.
Hmm.
Well, you coming over here like everything cool? Everything is not cool.
No, it ain't cool.
So yeah, and especially with kind of going back to Haiti, we know that today America and France are friends. And as you were mentioning that, I thought about how Biden sent 60 billion to Ukraine. Like, bruh, okay, all right, if you gonna do that, you telling me you got 60 billion. All right, so look, we got Haiti right here. Now, what has Ukraine done for America?
Nothing.
But you got 60 billion for them so that they can have arms to be able to do for themselves and defend. So yeah, so I think that now we have to we gotta get just a little bit more smart and more clever so we can sit down at their table. You know, like you mentioned, we meet with these representatives. They running for these various senators and these various elected officials. You know, we got a comment here. It says Haiti has less value to the uh that may be true to the people in power, you know, but for let's say for imagine the Afro-Haitian children today. Like you mentioned, I can imagine having to pay for school, you know, and not being able to afford it, or being in a situation where school could be free but it's not. And and especially as we look at the idea of black liberation, in particular the abolition of slavery is a great piece that we're still recovering from. And what we're uplifting today, family that's watching this, is we want to just continue to uplift the spirit of liberation, the spirit of empowerment, the spirit of reparations, because now is our time. Like, it's the table is set for us to go get everything that our ancestors slaved for.
It,
The question is, yeah.
it's like now or never, man. The way I see it, brother, it's like now or never, because you know, and what this YPS Unita said, that's incorrect. That Haiti has less value to the United States. Let me tell you. I want to correct that. Haiti can't defend itself. It can't defend its borders. It can't stop the U.S. from doing what they're doing. Under Bill Clinton, and I don't know if it's still going on right now, but under Bill Clinton's administration, and some years after it, he was able to force Aristide to sign a deal that the U.S. won't pay any taxes on its imports to Haiti.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? So,
wow,
Haiti's being robbed continuously by the U.S. So,
wow,
you know, on face value, Haiti seems worthless to the world. It's projected as the poorest country in the Western Hemisphere. In reality, it's one of the richest countries in the Western Hemisphere. In order for the schemes of the Europeans to work, they have to make the countries look poor. So whenever the white man comes in, everybody says, "Oh, white Jesus is here to save us. He's here to feed us. He's here to give us money." So they don't have to pay Haiti anything. They could just rob and take all the gold, all the natural resources, you know what I'm saying, the slave labor, and not have to pay a damn thing. That's the problem. It might seem like Ukraine has value to, I don't know how big of a value it is, but here's another thing that just, I didn't know nothing about it until recently. Haiti has something called iridium, and it has mountains of it. Most people don't know what iridium is, but you know what gold is, though, right? Now, iridium is worth 3 times more than gold.
Whoa.
3 times more than gold. 1 ounce of iridium is worth $6,000. 1 ounce.
Wow.
An ounce of gold now might be $1,000, $900. I forgot the price was during COVID. It jumped to $1,000. Like, it was a big increase. Like, then a 30% increase on the value of gold, 30 to 50. Iridium is used to make spark plugs. It's used to make missiles. It's used to make weapons. It's used for spaceships. It's used for batteries. It's used for computers. Iridium is heat resistant. That's why it's invaluable. Imagine you being able to go to a Rolex store, right, or a jewelry store, and pick out any watch, Rolexes, Cartiers, Bulgaris, you know what I'm saying? Those big fancy European watches, rings, necklaces. Imagine you being able to go there anytime you feel like it, pick out any one of those things or several of those things by the handful or by the bag full. Don't have to pay anything for it. You feel me? That's the relationship between Haiti and the U.S. The U.S. ain't paying nothing while Haiti is suffering and the children are suffering. You feel what I'm saying? That's how valuable Haiti is to the U.S. And as long as they can keep doing what they're doing without paying no taxes, they're going to keep doing it. They're going to keep doing it. You know what I'm saying? But I tell you what, though, if Haiti had a legitimate army, if Haiti had legitimate government that's not a puppet government that passed 5, 10 presidents that have been put in place by the U.S., except for Jean Aristide, who was the first democratic elected president of Haiti. You know what I'm saying? The people voted him in, but the U.S. took him out. Not once, but twice. You know what I'm saying? I'm not mistaken, maybe even 3 times. But the point I'm trying to make is that's why I'm doing a Black Legacy Tour, and I hope people are watching this video or going to my link on Instagram or to my website, KevinDorival.com, KevinDorival.com. You will see the GoFundMe link there. Go straight to GoFundMe. Donate $5, $10, $20, $100,000, whatever you can donate, because I need to keep doing this thing, and I want to do it at the level of excellence that needs to be done. This is justice. Most people have never done anything righteous with their life or their money. A lot of people they don't know what to do. We give you something to do. Even Brother Julian, he has a community program with JKS Foundation. What is it called again?
That's right. The J.K. Smith Senior Foundation.
JKS Senior Foundation, where he's helping mentoring young kings to young boys to become young kings. These type of programs needs to be funded. Now, I know the United States in America, there's no justice. We better get any justice. You got police brutality up the a-hole. You got black on black crime, white on black crime. You know what I'm saying? I know we got our issues here in America. And we got to pick one battle at a time. Some people don't care about none of the issues in America. They just want to keep working for the white man and be good. But we have to, at some point in time in your life, do something that's righteous. Do something for the next generation. So what I'm doing and what you doing, Brother Julian, the General, we're doing something for the youth and for the future. If you watch some of these documentaries about Haiti and the youth, how many, damn near 1 million kids orphaned, living on the streets, that's guaranteed poverty for the future. And the only reasons like that is because these policies that the U.S. has created and continue to perpetuate in Haiti. And I hope to God, you know what I'm saying, to the Creator, that we can make a dent and at least stop the bleeding, so that the next generation, because I may not see the policy changes in my lifetime. I mean, I ain't gonna fight for it. General Toussaint Louverture, he didn't get to see the freedom of Haiti completely. You know what I'm saying? Even though he was ruling the country, it wasn't the next soldier, which was Jean Dessalines and King Henry Christophe. They took over. They seen the freedom of Haiti, even though it was short lived, but they seen it with the soldiers before them. The seeds they sowed before them, they were able to witness it. You know what I'm saying? So I'm hoping to really make a dent in this thing, brother. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to align myself with the right people, the right spirits. We're going to make this happen. Best believe me. This fight will not stop.
We can look at Japan, right? Japan has less resources than Haiti, right? But America dropped 2 atomic bombs on Japan. In less than 50 years, Japan is now a world producer, a world leader, right? And even still, Haiti is still producing. So one of my contributions is with the music. You know, my thing is guns down, horns up. And so my initiative is being able to get kids instruments. They can get scholarship to college, and then boom, be able to get money back to Haiti, be able to produce music. That's that's my contribution. But kind of back to the idea of how can Haiti be a self-sustaining nation? Is there a model? Is there that we have seen of a island nation that is in less than 30 to 50 years, become a world leader.
Hey, I got a perfect example for you. Thomas Sankara of Bukana Safu.
Mm.
Thomas Sankara, um,
Teachers.
you know what I'm saying? Thomas Sankara is somebody who I've been studying for the past 7 years. Bukana Safu is a country, you know, in the western part of the motherland, Africa. Now, what he was able
Okay.
to do in 3 years. Now,
Okay.
Bukana Safu was regarded as one of the poorest countries in the world.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? According to the Europeans. Now, this is what this brother going to do. He, at the age of 33, if I'm not mistaken, he was
Mm.
able to, one, he stopped the IMF, the
Oh.
Monetary World Bank, from giving them a loan. They didn't want no loans.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because he understood that these loans were economic enslavement. Because you don't pay these loans,
Mm.
guess who come to invade your country? You feel what I'm saying? And they were colonized by the French. So he told
Mm.
the French, F you. We don't want your loans. And
Mm-hmm.
another thing he did was he made sure everything everybody wore, from their socks to their shoes, to their shirts, to their pants, to their toothpaste and toothbrush,
Mm.
that if it ain't made by people from Burkina Faso, we not wearing it and we not eating it.
Mm.
So he made that money
Mm.
circulate through the country.
Okay.
Not only that, he was able to increase the literacy rate because people just wasn't reading. So he made it a law.
Mm.
Everybody got to read a book. And regularly. Everybody reading. If you ain't reading, there's going to be a price to pay. Now, he wasn't no dictator, nothing
Mm.
like that, but I'm sure he had some sort
Gotcha.
of penalty
Gotcha.
into doing that. Another thing he did,
Mm-hmm.
he was able, which is kind of funny, but, you know, he was one of the first feminist presidents. He made
Mm.
the women go to work and the men stay home because he wanted women to
Mm.
understand their value. And one of the quotes he said was that if you ever want to understand the value of a country, look how the women are treated.
Mm.
You feel what I'm saying? So he made the women go
Mm-hmm.
out there and work and the men stay home. Not every day, but he made it a regular where
Mm-hmm.
they would
Mm-hmm.
switch. He made
Mm.
everybody in his cabinet, in his staff. And this is before he was assassinated by the
Mm-hmm.
French, by the way. He was assassinated. Just, you know what I'm saying? He made everybody in his cabinet to carpool. Ain't no riding no Benzes and Lexuses going to work and flashing, looking limousines and all that. No, we finna carpool. We're gonna save gas. We're gonna save money,
Mm.
and we're not going first class on the flights. We're not going no private jets. We're gonna get on the airplanes just like everybody else. Cause we in this
Mm.
together. He's one of the first presidents you will ever see actually go in the trenches and work with the people.
Mm.
And he wasn't no soft person. This dude was a soldier. He fought in the army. So that is a perfect blueprint of what we can do.
Okay.
Haiti
Yeah.
can do if left to govern himself by a righteous leader. Now, General Toussaint
Wow.
is, you know, he's an extraordinary leader. There's only one. He's one in a million. You know what I'm saying? There's
Yeah.
only one of him every
Yeah.
generation. You know what I mean? We're
Mm-hmm.
gonna need another leader like that. You know what I mean? To actually not care. And by the way, Toussaint was a multi-millionaire. A lot of people don't know that. One of the first colleges built in the United States was built with his money. That's
Wow.
another jeweler in Philadelphia. The money was stolen from him, and the white man went and built him a college in Philadelphia and excluded
Wow.
black people from coming to the school. They just recently, Supreme Court, you know, integrated the school. But anyway, that's another subject. It's going to take that blueprint, Bukana Safu. Bukana Safu means the land of
Gotcha.
the right, the land of the upright man. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So no matter who
Yeah.
Tom Sakura is, look him up, man. What he was able to do, and the fact that he, you know what I'm saying, you know, told the French what he told the French and knew what had to be, he took control of the economics. For a country being power,
Yeah.
you got to be able to
Yeah.
control your economic niche. I don't care where you at in the
Mm.
world. You know what I'm saying? And Haiti has
Yeah.
the farmland, the natural resources, the gold, the
Mm.
iridium, silver, copper. Haiti has
Mm.
more than enough to solve its problems financially. But it's the
Mm.
US and French and Canada, they benefit too much. to let Haiti
Mm.
prosper. It has to remain poor and backwards.
Mm.
That's what I want you people to understand, and that's what we're fighting
Okay.
against. And God willing, as we come to a close of this conversation, that
Mm-hmm.
this happens, please support either Brother Julian General's program. You know what I'm saying? Put your Instagram up on there for
Yeah.
the JKS Foundation for the young boys. Support
Okay.
his program, my program. My put your cash app. My cash app is Courage to Believe. If you don't want to use GoFundMe, put it Courage to Believe. That's my cash app, and put in the subject, you know what I'm saying, for Haiti or Black Legacy Tour. And go ahead and let you say a few things, because you know we could go all day, all night. Because this is what I do, brother.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what's up. Yeah, we gonna definitely let y'all know when we doing this again, because we got to keep the conversation. We got to keep the fire. We got to keep the wood on the fire so that the light will be shining bright. Because now is our time. You know,
Now or
brother
never.
YPC. Does the Dominican Republic have iridium as well? I don't know. You know that, brother?
I don't know about that, but think about this though. If Haiti got hit with that earthquake and devastated the country, why did DR get hit? They're on the same
Boom.
island. You know what I'm saying? Think about that. You know what I'm saying? So there's
Yeah.
some truth to what President Chavez said. And I'm gonna get more into detail on my next tour stop, which is gonna be in Oakland, California next month, Marcus Garvey Day. I'm
Mm.
gonna be in Oakland,
Mm.
California for the Black Legacy Tour, stopping the war against Haiti. And also I'm gonna be in Savannah, October, I forgot the date, 7, 8, 9. I think you
Yep.
going to it
Yep.
too. The Haitian Historical
Yes,
Society hosting
sir.
this big event in Savannah, Georgia. Please support what we got going
Yeah.
on. We here, we doing the work. We not talking. We not just
That's
posting
right.
things on social media. Man, we two brothers in the trenches. You know what I'm saying? I respect
That's
any
right.
sister, any brother that's in the trenches doing the work. That's all. That's all I support. I don't support fancy looks and graphics. I support the work.
That's right. That's right. Yes. Hey, salute to you, my brother, because you know, being able to be an author, being able to articulate these ideas, you know, like you mentioned about we reaching up to these politicians that they want our votes. You can't, our vote ain't free no more.
Now,
We need some return on investment. So yes, indeed. We gonna definitely let y'all know, you know, when our next convo is. We appreciate y'all for chiming in with us, and hey, forward we go.
no doubt.
Mm.
As you were talking, I'm trying to look at, hey, where my books at? This is it's my last book, The Winner in the Mirror. You know what I'm saying? Activating Superpowers, Mind, Body, and
Mm.
Spirit. So I did write 3 books. Thanks for mentioning that, because I haven't even mentioned it. But definitely appreciate that, man. You know what I mean? So man, y'all bless up everybody, man. Thanks for tuning in. We're gonna do this again, and have a safe trip to Haiti, a successful trip, man. Hope you enjoy the city down, man. It's a
Appreciate it.
beautiful, breathtaking
Yeah.
experience. You feel me?
Wow. Yeah, I'm appreciate it. Appreciate it.
All right. You have a blessed one. Power to the people.
Peace.